with some of the offenses that we've been seeing throughout college football. We have the Ohio States, we have TCU that we just spoke about with the review that we had earlier. Bama, they seem to never miss a beat. Georgia, they got back on track with things this year, and Tennessee, obviously, it's good to see them get going. And we'll hop into it with Georgia. What's your thoughts on their offense so far?
Well, they certainly have um, surpassed people's expectations. I think Stetson Bennett stepped up, and they've been able to move the ball. They've been able to take advantage of probably we talk about Ohio State's wide receiver room, Georgia, probably the best tight end room in the country, and they've been able to take advantage of that. And we kind of saw the drop down from what their defense was last year to this year. We all expected it. You can't lose that many people
And
and
not
keep
have like
rolling the
a
same way, especially for an historically good defense like that.
right.
But the defense is still good, one, but the offense in its own right has been kind of leading this team so far. And yeah, they've been surprising a lot of people, and they're the reason why after Bama struggles against A&M, Georgia's back at number one
Number
for
one.
now.
Yeah, and Bennett's playing great. Bennett's, if he continues to play the way that he's playing this year, I think there will be some Heisman votes for him, and there will be some consideration for him being the best quarterback in the nation. Again, there's a lot of football to play, but I think he's playing great considering the losses that he's even had on offense.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure. Yeah, and then we have teams like Bama, right? Bama, they've had Bryce Young for most of the year, but the past game and a half, no Bryce Young. They have Jalen Milroe, but they're finding ways to get it done. They don't have the same talent at receiver. Maybe they have the same talent, but they're not really, putting up the numbers this year and coming through with those kind of performances. Jamison Williams last year was just insane,
lights out, yeah.
and then the rest of their receivers really stepped up, and they were consistent, and guys Bryce Young could lean on. This year it's a little bit more spotty. They come in and in and out of games, and leaning more on their run game, but
They
you
run the
know
ball really well.
yeah, and Bama's just always there. They find a way to kind of just always stay um in that top tier of teams on both sides of the ball.
Right.
And yeah, they keep rolling, and they really don't miss a beat. Um but yeah, we have TCU, who we talked about earlier, one of the best offenses in the country as well.
Yeah.
And uh for a Big 12 team, it's not surprising for Big 12 teams to have high powered offenses, but man, TCU really got it kicked into gear. They have a receiver in Quinn Johnston that everyone expects, everyone knows is a Sunday receiver, right? This guy is going to be in the NFL. He's a fast guy, but also powerful, can go and get the ball, make plays, and they're really putting everything together there to really air it out and
Show off their pass offense for sure.
yeah, for sure. They don't miss any opportunities to do that. We talked plenty about Ohio State's offense with those receivers. Other thing to note is running the ball too.
Yeah, they run the ball really well.
They're running the ball well, and that's with issues with Trevion Henderson. So oddly enough, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Trevion Henderson, people were putting them with C.J. Stroud, talking about those might be the best three players at their position in the country.
Right.
Two of them have been in and out of lineups this year, and they're
And
still clicking because the other
yeah,
receivers stepping up in Fleming, Igbukah, and Harrison, and then Mayan Williams stepping up at
stepping
running
up and
back. He's
yeah,
he's
he had a great game against Rutgers too.
yeah, and look, the stats have him as one of the best running backs in the country right now.
Right.
And going into last game, especially now, he just missed last game, so now he's back behind on some stats. But yeah, I mean, that guy's been playing amazing, and that offense just doesn't miss a beat. And then you go and you have Tennessee and that Josh Heupel offense, kind of continuing what they did last year. The numbers they put up last year, I don't know if people realized how ridiculous they were,
No,
and it kind of just flew under the radar. But they were a team. I mean, Tennessee has been bad for
they've
years and
been
years
bad
and years.
for a while
They
now.
get things together. They have Hendon Hooker come there. He just emerges out of nowhere, and their offense just starts flying.
He's
Now,
another Heisman candidate.
yeah, for sure, he's a Heisman candidate. And now they come into this year. They keep that momentum rolling from last year,
Right.
and they're doing it better with he has a year under his belt of playing like that. The team knows he's their quarterback. They know they have his back,
Right.
and yeah, man, they're putting up, you know, tons of points, accumulating yards in a hurry, and yeah, definitely a fun team to watch, to watch offensively and see what kind of numbers they put up.
Right.
Um,